So the world's going to and it seems like there's nothing we can do about it. But actually, there's one big thing that no one is talking about. And it's not only something that we can change right now, but we must change it if we want to save the planet. And no, it's not getting rid of everything to go live in the forest. And before I go any further, I want to make it clear that I'm not saying we shouldn't hold corporations and our governments accountable. We definitely have to do that if we want to build towards a better planet. However, the World Resources Institute reports that a single industry alone could produce enough emissions to surpass the 1.5 degrees Celsius limit set by the Paris Agreement, which, as a reminder, is when all that scary climate change stuff starts happening. And this industry by itself would render the goal of keeping warming under 1.5 degrees Celsius impossible. So what does this mean? That means that even if governments and corporations started doing everything we needed them to do, we bring down global transportation emissions to zero, even if we do all that, but this industry isn't addressed, we'd still be fucked. And so you might be wondering, why haven't I heard about this? Well, maybe because this industry has spent millions of dollars lobbying against climate policies and funding dubious research that tries to blur the links between the industry and our climate emergency, just like the fossil fuel industry. But there's some really good news because tackling this industry isn't dependent on government, it's dependent on people like you and me, individuals. Why? Because the industry I'm talking about is the agriculture industry. It's what we're putting on our plates. And specifically, it's the animal products. Now hold on, before you give into the urge to click off, just give me a sec. Because I get how much hearing that makes you immediately say, well, that. Because trust me, I was the biggest meat eater for 26 years. I thought the exact same thing. I was like, that ain't worth it. It's a trade-off I'm willing to make. But now I've been eating a plant-based diet for over 3 years. And I'm here to tell you that since then, I've never had a more positive experience with food. I eat everything I used to eat and more. It's only added to my enjoyment of food. And I only wish that I had done it sooner. And so to go back to the report real quick, they say that researchers have shown that even when accounting for future improvements in agriculture and reductions in food waste, shifting the diets of higher income consumers toward plant-based foods remains essential for meeting climate targets. So like I mentioned earlier, even if all the corporations and the governments and everything that needed to happened, we'd still miss climate targets if individuals like me and you watching this video don't change our eating habits. And there's nothing stopping most of us from doing that today. It's already a cheaper diet. Think about it. Beans are way cheaper than other forms of protein. And this isn't some new idea that's come out recently. Even in 2010, the UN made a statement that in order to avoid the worst impacts of climate change, a global shift towards a vegan diet is vital. And remember, this is mostly because we grow a ton of plants for the animals to eat, who we then eat. One study found that animal agriculture uses 83% of global farmland and only gives us 18% of our calories. All you math and engineering people should be screaming at that stat. That's so bad. What about eating local though? According to this study, it's not about that. For food products, emissions from transportation usually account for less than 10% of total emissions. And for beef, it usually accounts for less than 1%. In this graph, transportation is the red part of the bar, and you can see how tiny it is compared to everything else that goes into it. And you can see the scale of how much worse animal products are for the environment. So it's really what or who you're eating, not the transportation of the products. And does one person make a difference? You bet your ass. I made a whole video about it. And the sooner people start seeing you take it seriously, the more likely they will start to take it more seriously. And the faster we get to saving the planet. So TikTok, come on. And keep in mind, switching to a plant-based diet is not gonna solve everything. This is not like an either or situation. It's very much so an and situation. Just because you have the wheels for your car doesn't mean your car is gonna be fully functioning. You need to build the rest of the car. But there's no way it's working without those wheels. So I leave you with some questions. If you care about the planet, which I'm guessing you do because you clicked on this video, do you care enough to change your breakfast? To move your hand over in the supermarket and pick the plant-based milk? To click on the vegan option on your food delivery app? Because honestly, eating a plant-based diet really isn't that hard. And if you are interested in making the change, you're not alone. That's what I made this channel for. To share how I continue to eat the best food of my life, enjoy time with friends, and keep living my own best life. So subscribe if you want to see some of that. And after all, eating a plant-based diet is better for your health, it's better for the planet, you no longer will contribute to what happens to those innocent animals, and it's never been easier to do it. So what are you waiting for? Anyways, don't forget to take your B12 supplement, get your legumes in, and I'll see you on the next one.